Alright my friends, so in this video I'm going to show you how to combine the objects with arrays in ES6. Okay, this is not really specific to ES6, but I'm going to show you how to create an array of objects, which is really the most use cases that you are going to deal with it as a web, as also in React Native. We are going to see this really a lot. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. What I'm going to do, I'm gonna delete my login file. I do not need it anymore, as well as here we need to get rid of the import line because this file is not available anymore. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm gonna create a new file. Okay, let's call it, for example, users. Okay, and here what I will do, I'm gonna export users.js, not only users. So I'm gonna rename my file users.js like so, and in this file I'm gonna export constant, let's call it users, equal to an array of objects. So I'm gonna define multiple objects. So the first one will has a property called name, and the value of it will be my name, right? And also another property called age, and I'm gonna give it this age right here. Another property will be the job, and also I'm just gonna type Android developer for simplicity. Okay, and we could of course add more properties if you would like. Okay, but I'm gonna keep it simple like so. We have an array that only has one object, so I'm gonna copy or duplicate this object to several objects. Okay, just keep in mind that you need to have a comma between your objects. Okay, so we have 3 and 4 items. So we have one object, 2, 3 and 4. We have 4 objects and we have separate them by a comma. Okay, and we have stored them in an array called users. Okay, so let me change these values, or let's leave it because we do not want to waste our time. And we have exported this array from this module. Why is that? Because we want to import it inside our app.js. So I'm going to import, and since it is not a default export, I need to name it using, or I need to import it using the named import. So I'm going to type import users from the path of the file, which is users, like so. Now what I will do, I will go ahead, since it's an array, so we have an array, the users, it's an array. So what I can do, I can loop through my users array here inside my div. So I'm gonna open my brackets, I'm gonna type users dot map. Okay, so here is my map array, and this once again take a callback with an item. I'm just gonna call it user. Okay, we can perform this action or this function on any item. And what really I want to do, I'm gonna return. Okay, if you want to return multiple HTML tags, because I want to print H1 for the name, for example B for the job, as well as B for the age. So we want to return multiple HTML tags, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna cut this and I'm gonna open parentheses because we want to return multiple HTML tags. So that's why you need to add a parentheses, and in this one I'm gonna return a div. Okay, and in this div I need to close it of course, and in this div what I will have an H1. Okay, and after that I need to have a B for the job and also B for the age, like so. So here what I can do, in order for me, let me just add these brackets because I want to execute JavaScript values, and here as well, so like so. So once again, this function right here, the function that we have declared right here that I am highlighting for you, this function right here will get executed for each object right here. Okay, and since this function right here has a parameter called user, so I can access these values using the user object right here, because this user object will be the iterator for each object. So in the first iteration, the user object right here will has the value of this object right here in the first iteration. In the second iteration, it will has this value, and the third iteration it will has this object, and in the last iteration it will has this object. Okay, so what I can do, I can type user, which is this value or this object right here, dot name. Okay, and here I can type user dot age and also user dot job. So this is how we can print these values. I'm gonna just refactor this. I'm gonna show you later on how to set up your prettier. It is a code format tool that will format your code for you. So if we switch back the web browser, we can see all the objects being printed to us successfully. So as you can see, this is how you can deal with an array of objects, loop through that array inside your let's say your HTML tags, or you're inside your function. So a quick note now right here, of course you have the question, hey, what you can do, this will be like this. Okay, we have it as a parameter. Okay, so can we destructure these properties before even we got them right here? Well, of course you could have did, or you can do something like this. So instead of using the user, you can add a destructure to get, for example, the name, the job, as well as the age. Okay, you can really do that if you want. Of course you need to delete this. Okay, we do not need anymore the user. Okay, so this is really about the object destructuring. And if we switch back the web browser, we can see the exact same values. We have just destructured because the user, let me go back, I'm gonna cut it. Oops, let me remove it. Here we have this thing right here. I'm gonna cut it so we can see it. It was like this, so user, and it's an object that we have it right here. So what we can do, we can delete it and add our destructure to destructure these properties from our object, and we can print them here inside our code. So this is how you can deal with an array of objects and use the array methods that we have learned to render your items. Of course, we can add some CSS to make it much nicer than what we have now, but that will be for the next module. Thank you, my friends, so much for watching. See you in another one.